Help me reach 4,000 subscribers. Tap the like button, share your thoughts below. I read them all. Thank you. I used to believe silence meant peace. Now it feels like punishment stretched thin over every hour. Every night in our apartment followed the same dull script. The fridge humming in the background, her quiet laugh lost inside her phone, and me pretending not to notice. Her name's Rachel. For 3 years, she was the gravity I orbited. We weren't perfect, no one is, but we were good. The kind of couple that still texted each other miss you halfway through the day. The kind that spent Sunday mornings making pancakes and bad coffee. But lately, her heart had drifted somewhere I couldn't reach. It started small, longer showers, new lipstick, that subtle change in the way she guarded her phone like it was holding state secrets. I told myself I was overthinking, that maybe I was just insecure. I clung to the version of us I wanted to believe in. Until the night of James' party. We hadn't gone out together in weeks, and I hoped it might bring us back. Instead, it showed me how far gone she really was. The moment we walked in, she floated toward a group near the bar, laughing, touching, glowing in someone else's orbit. I stood there with a drink I didn't want, watching her become someone I didn't know. Then I saw him. Ethan. Tall, self-assured, the kind of man who breathes attention like oxygen. He leaned close, whispered something that made her throw her head back and laugh. That laugh that used to belong to me. Her hand brushed his arm. Familiar. Comfortable. Too much of both. I said nothing. When she finally came back, I smiled and asked, "Having fun?" She gave me that smirk, the kind that slices, the kind that says she knows exactly what she's doing. "Don't tell me you're jealous," she teased. I met her eyes. My voice didn't shake. "I'm not jealous," I said. "I'm finished." The smirk faded. She blinked, confused, like she couldn't process what she'd just lost. But I already knew. I'd lost her long before that night. This was just the moment I stopped pretending otherwise. The drive home was wordless. Streetlights spilled across her face while she stared out the window, and I realized how many times I'd mistaken her distance for depth. When we got home, she went straight to bed. I sat alone in the living room, staring at the dull glow of the TV. For the first time in months, the quiet didn't hurt. It felt honest. The next morning, she tried to act normal. "Coffee?" she asked, voice soft but uncertain. I nodded. She moved around the kitchen like nothing had changed. "About last night," she started. I cut her off. "You don't need to explain." "You're not mad?" she asked. "No," I said. "You can't hate someone for showing you the truth." For a second, her mask cracked. Maybe she wanted to apologize, maybe confess. But she didn't. She just shrugged and took a sip of coffee. That was the moment I knew, really knew, we were done. I started packing that afternoon. No shouting, no chaos. Just quiet movements. Folding shirts, unplugging chargers, taking down the framed photo from our first trip together. Her kiss on my cheek under gray skies. I turned it face down in the box. When she came home and saw me packing, her eyes widened. "You're actually leaving?" "Yeah," I said. "You already made your choice. I'm just living with it." She crossed her arms. "You're being dramatic." I almost laughed. "No, Rachel. I've just stopped making excuses for you." She didn't answer. Maybe she thought I'd cool off, come back. I didn't. The new apartment was small, a single bedroom and an echo, but it was mine. The silence returned, but it wasn't heavy anymore. It was healing. I learned how to cook for one, how to sleep without waiting for the sound of someone else's footsteps. I picked up reading again. She used to hate when I got lost in books. Then one night, around 11, my phone buzzed. Her name. "Do you ever think about us?" I stared at the message, then typed. "Sometimes." But only to remember why I left. She didn't reply. A week later, I saw her at a cafe near my office. Same elegance. Same confidence. But her eyes were different, a little tired, a little unsure. She walked over, smiling like we were old friends. "Hey, stranger." "Hey," I said. "How've you been?" "Better." And I meant it. She tilted her head, studying me like she couldn't quite read me anymore. You really moved on, huh? I smiled. You taught me how to. That caught her off guard. She gave that same smirk again. Only this time, it faltered halfway. Well, she said with a nervous laugh, you don't miss me at all? I met her gaze. I did, but not anymore. She looked away, then whispered, you were always too calm for your own good. And you? I said, were always too careless with something good. She didn't respond, just stood there, quiet, maybe realizing for the first time that I wasn't the one losing anything anymore. When I walked out of that cafe, I didn't feel victorious. I felt free. That night, I sat by the window and watched the rain slide down the glass. Funny how love turns into silence, and silence turns into clarity. How the loudest thing you can say is nothing at all. Rachel once told me that calm people have stopped caring. She was wrong. Calm isn't empty. It's what's left after you let go of everything that hurts. I wasn't angry at that party. I wasn't jealous. I was simply done. And sometimes being done is the strongest thing you'll ever be.